the end of our last session, we started our next section, which is on measures of central tendency, mean, median, and mode. We started off by listing the key terms and defining them. We found out that another way to describe the mean is the average. And we find the sum, we add them all up, add all the numbers in the data up, and we divide by the number of items. When we looked at median, the word median means middle. We want to be sure that we order our numbers in ascending order, least to greatest, and then see if there is an odd number of data items, it'll be the number in the middle. If there's an even number of data items, we'll take those two center numbers, add them, and divide by 2. Mode is a number that appears the most. If there is a number in the data that is repeated, we will refer to that as the mode. There could be one mode, there could be more than one mode, or there could be none at all. We then looked at our first problem, and I believe that this was one that we finished, but I'm not sure, so I'm going to go through it quickly with you again. When I'm looking at this, the very first thing I want to do is be sure that, even though they don't tell you to, I like to start by ordering from least to greatest. So let's take a look at ordering. And now I'm starting off with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 data items. Okay, so I just want to be sure that I remember that that's an even number. So when I get to my median, I have to add and divide by 2. And I also want to be sure when I rewrite them that I have included the 8 items. 8 is my lowest, followed by 14. Then I have 16, 16, 22, and 24. I double check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, I have 6 items. Now that I have that in order, I like to do the easier ones first. I'm going to go with mode. I look across and I see that the 16 is repeated, so 16 is my mode. I'm now going to look at my median. Well, when there were 6 items, I said we need to take those 2 numbers in the middle. Now this one happens to be easy because it's the same number. If I took them and added them and divided by 2, this one can't get any easier. My median is 16. Now when I get to my mean or average, we have to add up all the data. Now sometimes you can do some mental math and look at connections of numbers, what works well together. Others of you will say, well, how do I add this whole large column of numbers? You can do it in chunks. You can take the first 2 numbers and add them, the second 2 numbers, and however you want to do it to make it easier on yourself. You can, from time to time, pull out a calculator depending on the lesson and whether I require you to do that or not. So taking these numbers and adding them all up is your next mission. Now I'll probably ask you what method you used in order to get your sum. And we know that when we get that sum, we're going to divide by 6. You could, again, take 2 numbers at a time and keep adding on. I sometimes like to look for combinations that work nicely together. If I was correct, this was 100. And then I divide, and I'm going to get 16 and 6/10 repeating. So, again, I could either write this, maybe I'll ask you to write it as a whole number, so then we talked about approximately. It's approximately equal to 7. On to my next problem. Again, I give you a series of numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 data items. Do I have to write this down? No, but in the first couple I'm doing that to remind you that this is an odd number, so we're going to find that median right in the middle. We start by ordering 4, 6, 6, 15, 15. Again, think about what you like to do first. If you want to go in order, go right ahead. For some reason, I always do the easy ones first. I see that there are 2 modes. There are 2 6s and there are 2 15s. So there are 2 modes in this problem. The median is the number right in the middle, and because there's an odd number, the median is 6. Now I need to add up this set of data. Sometimes, again, I look for combinations. I might say, oh, 4 plus 6 is 10. I might also notice that 15 and 15 is 30, and I add the extra 6. You could go from number to number, that's 10 and 16, and then 16 plus 15, and so on, however it works best for you. So now I have 46 divided by 5. So 46 divided by 5, that will go in 9, all right, 9 full times, with 1 left over, and that's 9 and 2/10. And again, if you want to do long division, you can. Say that it goes in 9 times, which is 45. 1 left over, so then you bring down a 0. You see that will go in twice. So again, we're getting a little into that division with decimals, and that's good because that's something we need to be working on. So now we see what our mean or average is. Let's just do one more set. And again, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 data items. So again, I know that my median will be right smack in the middle. What do we always do first? We order from least to greatest. 2, 4. So again, sometimes I put a little dot there to see, then I scan across and see what's next. It looks like 15. And I scan across and I see there's a 16. Then I find 18, 18, and 22. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have the 7 items. Let me look at my mode, and yes, there is one. It's 18. Median is right in the middle. That's going to be 16. Now you want to add up this set of data and divide by the number of items. I'd like you to do that now. So find the sum, add them all up, and divide by the number of terms. Let's see what you get. Did you get a sum of 95? Because I believe that's what I got. And again, if we don't agree, we can check that over in class. So I said 95, and then we're going to divide by 7. Now when we divide, again, let's take a look at this division. We'll take 95 and divide by 7. We'll go in once, you subtract and bring down. 7 times 3 is 21. Subtract. And now I'm going to put a decimal up in my quotient and bring down a 0. 7 times 5 is 35. Subtract. Let's bring down another 0. And I see that this is going to keep going and going. And sometimes I'll say round to the nearest tenth. If I said round to the nearest tenth, I'd have 13 and 6/10. If I say round to the nearest whole number, then it would be approximately equal to 14. We're also going to get into talking about the range, which I haven't discussed yet, which range just says let's take the greatest number and subtract the lowest number. So that's the range of the set of data. And we're going to be talking about outliers. Here's one additional problem that I'll leave you with for you to work on, and we'll go over this one in class.